The scene here is familiar, another remote wooded corner of northeast Hillsborough County.
The serial killer stalking exotic dancers and prostitutes, raping them, killing them, dumping their bodies.
The sheriff would not speculate at this time whether there could be more victims. Police reports indicate several other young women were seen in the same general area of northeast Hillsborough County for the last time.
He had an area that we referred to as his hunting ground, and that was Nebraska Avenue, Kennedy Boulevard, the high prostitution areas in 1984 here in the city of Tampa.
This is the easiest type of homicide victim to pick because they're out there, they're exposed to a lot of danger and risk. They're actually willing to get into a car of a stranger, for example.
You know, what's some street hooker gonna do, right?
All is raped.
Well, who cares?
And he goes for victims that I call the less dead, those that won't be missed.
Maybe 2 of them had families that gave a about them. Maybe. You know, I'm just guessing, I don't know. The rest of them were sluts out on the street.
You know, while some of these women had criminal histories for prostitution, no one deserves to die the way these women died. And we really focused all of our resources on this case.
He was a monster. He would not stop offending.
And he was a mini crime wave.
One thing we're thinking, and we're not saying publicly, what do you do when you're 10, 15, 20 homicides down?
The murder rate in Tampa doubled just at the hands of one man.
We traveled the streets where a lot of these people had been kidnapped from, did a lot of interviews, but never really came up with any information that was strong enough to start taking any direction one way or another.
This is a case you have to understand that we lived and breathed for 8 months. I can remember sitting at home just staring at the telephone, waiting for it to ring.
You don't want to sleep, you don't want to go home, you want to solve the crime. But with this case, not only did you want to solve it, you knew you were responsible for the next victim.
I can remember sitting in my major's office one day when the sheriff came in. And the major looked at the sheriff and he said, we've got it solved. We've got his hair, we've got his tires, we've got the fiber. He said, we've got it all solved, except we just don't have a name to put with the evidence. It's almost like we're chasing a shadow out here.
Bella is 6 years old, and we've had her for 4 years. Bella was surrendered here by a family that just couldn't keep her anymore. They couldn't afford the care. When she first arrived here, she was in one of our kennels and was very territorial, was very upset, very confused. And it took her a little while to come over to me, but once she did, she crawled right in my lap, and so she's been part of our family ever since.
Afraid of probably the unknown, but I'm going to go ahead with, I would say that I'm afraid of snakes. I think it's really annoying when somebody says they're going to do something or somebody says they're going to call you and then you don't hear from them and they have no reason.
Looking for a major where you can use technology to create? Then come join the Media, Communication, and Technology program. This program offers a wide range of learning experiences, from theoretical coursework to hands-on production experiences. Our department faculty work very closely with our students to prepare them for this competitive industry. And we'd like to prepare you too. Stop by Rosencrantz Hall or call us at 570-422-3763.
Is anybody there? So it was could be classified as a tumultuous period, yet I found it to be, I think, a little exciting because you were dealing with so many different issues. And I found it was a time in which there was a number of changes going on. In fact, it was a time where I think students started to move away from the Vietnam era and started to become somewhat conservative. They began to look at business as a future, and they began to really move more and more in that direction, from at least in Massachusetts. I'm not sure I could speak for Pennsylvania at that point. But I do know that that was a time in which my early administrative role began to see those kinds of changes, which I didn't really see as a faculty member because you only see your own classes. You don't see all the classes. When you're an administrator, you tend to touch on different elements that go on across the campus. So it was an interesting time. Culturally, it was a modification of the American dream. There were a lot of things going on that was both exciting and also troublesome because you didn't know what direction it would end up in. So it was interesting.
Now, I know you're a media communication and technology major. What made you decide to join that major?
Well, I've been interested in video production ever since I was 6 years old and saw Star Wars for the first time. So I've always been interested in it. I took part in a lot of video production and TV production classes in high school. I even took part in this wasn't even a club, it was a class where we produced a show every morning and basically did the morning announcements over the over the TV system in the school, in each classroom. So it's always been an interest of mine, and since it was a little bit broader, I got to learn some stuff besides video production, like graphic designing and sound editing.
Oh, that's great. Now I hear that you've won the screenwriting competition at the Mount Pocono Film Festival. How was that for you?
An experience, to say the least. When I entered it, I did not expect to win at all. I'm a 21-year-old college student. I thought I was gonna just be like an honorable mention or something at best, but when they announced Tom Zarnock as the winner of the screenwriting competition, I thought if I slapped myself in the face, I'd wake up.
Wow, that's really great. Well, congratulations for
Thank
that.
you.